Welcome to the Next Level Quad Pod. I'm your host, James Coe, with my other co-hosts, Greg Keller. Are we doing last names?
Now we are.
And Rich, Marilyn, and we have a special guest here today.
Yvonne Losino.
And what is your social security number?
What's going on, guys?
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming, Yvonne.
No, we're just going right into this.
Yeah.
We'll work on that intro.
We'll work. Yeah. We might have to edit that in post a little bit.
I'm just waiting for everyone to be like, who?
What? I came on to hear Greg talk.
I start Googling Yvonne Losino.
Who dis?
So let's start with what's on the table. What are we all drinking tonight?
Tonight was going to be whiskey or wine, and everybody here chose whiskey. So
Yeah.
With ice.
we started
Lots
with
of
some
ice.
Glenlivet and ice. Yeah.
Glenlivet, 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Man, you went fancy, huh?
Yeah, Rich.
We are
Rich
getting
is
very
smooth.
sophisticated.
Are we
here.
sure Rich was not in that XC article?
Mm.
I know.
Because of the nice whiskey.
Yeah. Anyone who's listening, Google Glenlivet 18-year-old and then see
And
what
then
it
make
costs.
your decision.
Yeah,
If it's fancy or not.
it is.
Have you ever had bad alcohol? It just tastes horrible. So bad.
Interesting fact, 15-year-old whiskey, when it ages in the barrel, you lose about 80% of that to evaporation.
No, it can't be that much.
I read that somewhere.
80%?
It can't
true.
be 80%.
After
Yeah, I
15
read it
years, you
somewhere.
lose 80%.
Yes.
That can't be right.
That's why the prices get so much higher.
Oh my god.
Look
I
it
don't-
up.
Yeah, but you said you made formaldehyde too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And read it in the same spot.
And that was wrong.
Yeah, well, our next
You
bottle
read
is
it in the
also
same spot.
18. So
Yeah.
just get through this one and we'll go to the next one.
So before we do get started, I just want to, we shouldn't make recommendations to too many competitive podcasts here. I don't want to have our listeners go to another one, but I've been listening to one recently that's absolutely phenomenal. It has nothing to do with triathlon. So it's perfect for this. It's called The Legacy of Speed, and it's like a 6-part mini series or whatever you want to call it. It's done by Malcolm Gladwell, who
Oh, yeah.
he's Freakonomics. Is
Yep,
that what he
he's
did?
the voice
Oh,
of
okay.
Freakonomics.
And it is about Tommy Smith and John Carlos, the two sprinters from the 1968 Olympics who won gold and bronze and then stood on the podium with their glove in the black glove, hand in the air. It's like, it's got to be the most famous
Yeah.
Olympic picture maybe ever. And it's a phenomenal series. So anybody looking for something good to listen to, it gets into some of the history, it gets into some of the politics of the 60s in America, and just it's great. So
It's so interesting that you listen to the Freakonomics, Malcolm Gladwell, because I love the other podcasts that Freakonomics does and with the other authors. It's really good.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to listen to that one.
there's nothing about Freakonomics in it. Just so
No,
you
I know.
Okay.
I know. Neither's the other stuff, but it's just some good content
Why are they using the name?
because it's the authors of the book.
Maybe Gladwell
Writing
didn't
that.
do that. Did he do
It's
that?
Michael. It's a couple of other guys.
No, but I don't know what Gladwell did. He's famous. Like he's a
Yeah.
kind of famous guy.
Yep.
All right. So that was real exciting. Sorry about that, everybody. So we're going to start a little different. We're going to start off with, do we want to give a little bit of an intro? Or are we just going to jump into rapid fire?
It's funny when James asked me, he's like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Cool. And then I found out afterwards who you guys had on last week, Aaron Birch. And I was like, what the hell am I doing on this podcast?
Yeah, I mean, we hit it big time with Aaron.
I know. And I'm like, man, it should have started. And I realized I'm like the palate cleanser. I'm here to neutralize the space so that our listeners have someone to relate to. Because, yeah.
I don't know if any of us could hold the candle to Aaron, so don't feel bad.
I know.
We're excited
well,
to have you.
but to be a guest is just, but it is fun to be here and see how it all works out. So huge fan.
It's nice to have another girl in the house for once.
Yeah, right. I'm telling you.
So Yvonne is a teammate of ours, has been on the team since the beginning, and you've been with Next Level longer than anybody, really
Anyone
anybody
in
else.
this room here?
Yeah.
I kind of grew up with the Next Level fam. So to get into how I got part of the Next Level team, my husband actually got me involved with Jerry Yu and all things next level. One day he came home and he's like, yeah, I met this guy. At the time, he was with his other previous company at Body Designs. And he said, these guys are PTs. They do some, thank you. They do some fitness stuff, and I'm working out with them. And he's like, yeah, we're like meeting up at this school. And he would show me these videos of him doing like battle ropes and like monkey bars. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? So then at the time, there was a big group that would get together at Overpeck Park in Teaneck. And it sounded like so much fun. They'd meet by the track and do these big group workouts. And I was like, I want to go. And at the time, our kids were thinking like 5 and 7 or 7 and 9, something like that. And we had to convince them to go. So my son would come and work out with us, and my daughter would begrudgingly sit on the side angrily with a book on a picnic blanket. And
Wait, these are workouts your son would come without, he'd go shirtless.
with his shirtless, yeah. He would
So
like
jacked.
throw it down and be like, Mom, I could do all this stuff, whatever. And it was cool because like the whole family could interact in whichever way they saw fit. So he has a couple of pictures of him shirtless. Nobody would leave me. And I said, no, look, this is my son shirtless at like 5 years old, like showing his guns. So yeah, I stayed with them for a long time. And then when Jerry went off on his own, ironically, I was the last member of my family that came in for PT. I was, my husband came, and then my kids both came because they were getting hurt in their own activities, and I never came. And then finally, I started coming when they moved over to Woodcliff Lake. Dr. John was actually my therapist because I was like, Jerry doesn't have time for me. I'm not going to waste my time trying to get on his schedule. So I started working with Dr. John, and then they knew I worked in healthcare. So Dr. Jerry needed someone to help him out. I worked here part-time a little bit, and just between my full-time schedule and then working here, it just got to be a lot. So I had left, and he's like, I'm going to bring you back when I'm able to bring you on full-time. And then, the timing, the stars just aligned, and he's like, all right, I'm ready. And I was ready to go, and I said, look, I'm ready to go. So if you can have me, then I'm here. And and then I just became part of the Working Next Level family. And then one of the great perks of working at Next Level is since they are so adamant about fitness being in your life, then you get to participate in all these fun events.
Fun.
And it's,
Fun.
When I was going through my career path and everything, I was always wanting to keep fitness into my life. And I thought, man, it would be really great if I can combine my work and my passion together. And in some weird way I was able to, because I still have like a regular 9 to 5 where I'm doing my behind the desk work, but I get to have that outlet of fitness and do the workouts and stuff. So one day I was running on the treadmill, and Jerry's like, you should run a half marathon. And I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden I'm like army crawling in AC and low tide, thinking like, how the hell did I get here? I was just going for a run on my break, and now all of a sudden I'm signed up for the 70.3, and I don't know what happened. So I was part of that Jerry U whirlwind. So
It seems like that might be Jerry's superpower.
yeah,
A lot of you guys have been, I don't want to say
Indoctrinated.
roped into, and that sounds much better than roped into it.
Yeah. No, he's definitely the Pied Piper for sure. He's just like, hey, you should do this. And you're like, actually, when I signed up, I think I signed up for the New Jersey half. And he's like, we're all going to go and do it together. And you should do it. And I was like, okay, cool, And then I'm looking at his schedule, and I'm like, Jerry, you're going to be in Puerto Rico. And he's like, oh, yeah, I guess I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, I signed up for this half marathon thinking that we're all going to go together. You're not even going to be here. And it was just kind of like, his work was done. He got me on the path, and that was all he had to do. So,
I think if you read the fine print with Jerry, he will be all like, yeah, let's do this. We'll do it. It'll be so much fun. And then the gun goes off at whatever event, like you are on your own at that point. It's like sink or swim.
I was going to ask that because
If
you
you
said,
pass that test.
we'll all go down and do this half marathon together.
Yes.
And I wonder if you had this picture of like the however many of you there were, like running together, you know, like stopping at the aid station and having us, you know, and then it's just the gun goes off and
they're gone.
that's
Scatter.
They're
Yeah.
gone. And then if you survive and you meet them at the finish line, then it's
Right.
like you're now
Forget
part of
about
it.
the
to go.
finish line. If you show up to work on Monday, you're like, all right, excellent, you passed. You know, definitely never carpool with Jerry to a race because you might be he might forget he took you.
Yeah, he's ready to go when it's done.
That's it. I've been left stranded a time or two by Mr. Jerry.
That was a good intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, Yvonne, we're going to leave this up to you. Do you want to do the rest of this and then rapid fire, or do you want to do rapid fire now? What we have found is
I feel
rapid
like this
fire.
is the first rapid fire question. It's like,
This
do you
is-
do
yeah.
rapid fire or
Would
do you
you
do
rather do
Yeah.
rapid
Yes,
fire?
no.
Oh, wow.
Would you rather?
You guys don't mess
There's
around.
a lot of would you rathers on here.
Oh my
You know,
my
I'll do
favorite.
the rapid fire because I really am terrible with that. So I figure with
It's
fresh.
a good icebreaker
Yeah.
too. It gets
Yeah.
us giggling a little bit.
Terrible is good. That's
Okay.
that's the point.
Then you got it.
All right, so you already alluded to this one, but we're going to start here. Would you rather swim 1.2 miles through murky water like the bay at AC, or run 13.1 miles during a sleet storm?
Oh, murky water for sure.
Is there
I
a
nailed
story
it.
behind the sleet storm?
Well, she
It's
doesn't
not
like the
rapid
cold.
Fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If there's
Yeah,
a story.
I know, but I want. Okay, whatever. Go ahead. Your turn.
All right. I'm not going to do the next one because I'll leave that one for the person next to me. What
My
age
signature
was your
one.
favorite?
What age was my favorite? Definitely like, I think 16.
Oh, we're talking about like the Bronze Age or like
What?
Like the Mesozoic
When
era.
we do rapid fire for you, that's what you
It's
can
the only
answer.
era I know.
16.
Yeah.
Do we need any context or no?
Not rapid fire if there's
All right,
context.
back to the good old faithful. If you were a man, would you rather wear Speedos that
my
are too
God.
small or jammers that are too big?
Who says I'm not a man? So wait, now probably jammers.
Jammers
But
are too
the
big?
Jammers
Yeah.
are too big.
But are they like?
Marilyn's trying to sell you on the Speedos now.
No,
She's so
I'm
anti-Speedo.
anti-Speedo.
Marilyn
now
is
she's selling.
anti-speedo.
Why can't
I'm
you
gonna
just put
stick
a
with
question for her
jammers.
Speedo or jammer? She would answer
I know
that.
he likes
That's
to lead
different,
the
though.
witness all the time. He makes stipulations.
I'm gonna stick with jammers. That was my gut.
Jammers too big.
Loose
Okay.
jammers?
Loose jammers. This sounds like a good band. It's like loose jammers.
It is.
Okay, yacht rock.
next. How often do you clean your bike?
Oof, that's a good question. I'm definitely not anal like Rich. I know he like puts it to bed every night. Don't even look surprised. You do. I generally don't. I clean it as needed. So definitely after I'm on a really nasty ride, I try to make sure it's nicely tucked into bed.
Hmm.
Mhm.
What is the stupidest dare you've ever agreed to?
Oh man, stupidest dare. I'm just trying to think. Stupidest like made me look stupid for sure. I think I asked someone to eat their food. We were down the shore after like a night at the club. Or do you want the story?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we were standing in line. I think we were waiting to have like tater tots or something. It's this place. I don't even remember. I was so much younger, but we were waiting in line to get some kind of food, and it was like one of those like after club spots. And then this guy had his little container of tater tots or something, and they were like, "Go ask him for some food." So I walked up to him and I was like, "Can I have one?" And he looked at me like just so like annoyed, but fine. And I just like took a tater tot.
You guys remember the movie Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes.
Yeah.
Napoleon, give me your tots.
Maybe he came up with it because of me. Because and
Yeah.
it was like I thought I was cool, but I knew I wasn't because he looked at me like dumbass. But it was delicious. So
If he's
I got to
listening,
eat.
please
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah. Let us know.
Comment or subscribe.
Could you imagine? He's like, that was her.
Okay. What is your biggest flaw?
Ooh.
Oh, my biggest flaw
Sounds like a job interview.
Yeah.
for real.
It's a rich question.
Oof. Oh, my biggest flaw. I have so many. I guess like annoying flaw. I don't speak up. Like that's annoying to many. And now that we're getting older, most people can't hear me. So usually it's like, what'd you say? I can't hear you. What'd you say? And it's like very annoying. But I think that's a big flaw of mine that I don't speak very loudly or clearly.
Okay. What word in the English
look perfect.
language makes you cringe?
I'm not one of those. I think I like to be the cringer. Like I like to say
Cause
these
people to
annoying,
cringe.
like, moist.
That was the only word I could
Moist.
think of. I thought there was a story behind it. See?
I'm usually the one that's like all day, like saying like, how many times can I say moist to really like, get someone cringed out. I always think it's funny, like when people get so grossed out about a word. I'm like, it's a word. Like, I don't think anything
All
bothers me like that.
Okay, this one's deep. What makes you hopeful?
Oh, that is deep. What
Is
makes
this
me
you, James?
hopeful?
No. Mine, you can tell which ones are mine.
I'm just trying to think, like a sunny day for sure. I'm definitely weather dependent, so
Nice.
pretty sunny days.
What is your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving.
So you can mold a turkey out of.
Oh my
Well, we'll
God.
get to that.
That story.
I do have some
What?
good turkey molding skills. Yeah.
If all right, here we go. If you were going to a deserted island, which one book would you take with you forever?
I'm trying to think. This is one of those like you have so many, and then when you get asked, you're like, wait, probably the Bible. If I was
Oh.
stranded, I would bring the Bible.
The Bible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You could always
Did
like,
not expect
jump
that
in
one.
there.
No, I wasn't seeing that
Not even
coming. But
close.
Neither.
I mean, you don't know if she's going to use that as like kindling or something. You don't know.
Not the way she said
Like if
it.
I'm stranded on an island, you need something
You
like the
need some
Bible to
kind
keep
of
you
help.
going. Yeah. You can pick up any stories you want.
So we're going from deserted island to what is your favorite dessert?
2 S's.
Ooh. I would say carrot cake.
Wrong answer.
Yeah, totally. Definitely the wrong answer.
Why
Wow.
is it a wrong
And-
answer?
Oh,
Off of that, favorite flavor of ice cream.
See, I heard the conversations before, and I feel like if I say this, it's going to come like, whatever. But I am a vanilla person.
Another one for the vanilla. Mhm.
It's just such a great base. You could do anything to
Exactly.
it.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You two coordinated before
Yeah.
this. I know it.
No.
I know it.
all right. How about your favorite flavor of energy gel?
Definitely not unflavored.
You don't like the Mortons?
Never again.
Do you because of what I said about
Yes.
them?
I don't
one
even-
day-
I've never
one
even
day we'll have
tasted
to
it.
Explain it.
But this whole like
Well,
description of Morton's, I feel like you've ruined for all
Sorry.
of time.
He's ruined for pretty much
Ruined.
everybody in this room.
I don't drink energy gel. I actually I like to make maple syrup.
Yeah, you make your own, right?
Yeah.
You
You
make
buy-
maple syrup? Like
No,
No,
I
you
don't
tap a
like
tree?
tap a tree.
Mm,
No.
okay.
But
Because that would have been a good story. That's actually why we had you on the podcast. So you can pack up now.
syrup tapper.
Would you rather be invisible or be able to fly or be invincible?
Poor English there.
I know.
I
I
hate this
thought the question was
question.
over.
I would say able to fly. I love that feeling.
You've done it before?
Flown?
Yeah. In my dreams.
Mm.
Don't you
Feels
get that
good.
feeling when you jump like skydiving? Isn't that?
I've
You're
never
falling.
been.
I guess
fly-
it's
That's
either-
falling.
I guess I like the feeling of falling.
But it's terminal velocity, so
Not so much flying, but like
I mean, it's flying down
Right.
real fast. I
Have you
guess.
done,
I've never.
been skydiving?
I never.
not.
I have been
skydove.
skydiving.
I've done it once.
Yes, I went skydiving once.
so she
So
has
you
done
have
it.
flown.
I mean, still falling,
Falling fast.
gliding. I've glidden.
Those wingsuits. Those wingsuits are nuts. You ever
Oh
see
my
those
gosh,
videos?
yeah.
Those look
Yes,
absolutely
yeah.
crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not trying that.
I used to
No.
actually have this dream. It
A
was one of
wingsuit.
my. I used to have a dream that I was in a wingsuit. No, I used to have this recurring dream that I would run off of my steps, this landing, and I would start flying. And it was like the most amazing. I would like be so excited to have that dream, and I would have it. You know, like I said, it was recurring. So, it was at my grandmother's house, and she had this landing, and I would just run down the stairs and then take off and fly. So, you know, a couple of times I would like.
So the takeoff, did you feel like you had to like clench your butt cheeks to fly? Because that's what my recurring dream is.
That's how it works
I would
for
like
you?
clench my butt cheeks and then I'd start flying.
Oh,
that
okay.
would be the impetus
Was
to
that
taking
like-
off.
That's how I took
That's
off.
how you take off. That's wild.
I've got so many rapid fire questions. We just have to do one for
Yeah.
James. Could we just separately just do one to post on YouTube?
I've
So many.
I've had
So
the
many.
same dream, but breathing underwater.
Oh,
What? That you can
Yeah.
breathe?
Yeah, like I could swim around like a fish.
Mm.
Oh, fun.
Loved it.
Yeah.
One of those recurring dreams. Similar.
We need to get someone in here to
Analyze
all these dreams.
No,
because-
no,
To say we're really messed up.
Just Google it.
What is your favorite post race meal?
I like, it's funny, after the races, I was so
What is your
disappointed.
favorite post race meal?
All right. Well, I would say nothing because what I was going to say was I end up not having an appetite right after my post race, but then I'll eat everything. So anything fried and a milkshake, definitely.
Milkshake. That's a good one. Yeah.
Milkshake.
Is it
Mhm.
vanilla?
It is vanilla
Ah.
if I could find it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard
See,
to find
if
that.
it in a shake form, I do prefer chocolate.
Do you?
Yes.
I'll go strawberry.
Ooh.
The side eye.
God. Yeah.
All right. Would you rather swim in a pool full of Nutella or a pool full of maple syrup? I can't say that word.
I feel like
Which
because
one?
I'm not a good swimmer, syrup is probably
Cool.
better.
And you get a
Yes.
lot of more energy gels. Like, it's
Yeah.
right there.
And I'm also vegan, so
Wait,
the
what'd you
Nutella
pick?
wouldn't. Syrup, yeah.
Mm.
Like, you could just keep
Wait,
swimming.
you can't have Nutella?
Nutella has milk in it. I think it's skim
Oh.
milk powder.
But
you
you're
just-
swimming in it. You're not eating it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
still,
Gets in your
I
mouth.
think it's still, yeah.
Speaking from experience, these people.
But imagine you'd have like constant like nutrition if you were swimming the maple syrup.
Yeah.
It'd, like,
You
work out.
need
I
it
wouldn't even
because it
have
would
to
take
pack
you
it.
so
It'd be so
damn
fast.
long.
I would be
Swim.
flying if it
She
was like
would
a.
be so
Would you
fast.
let me
Yeah.
ask, would you be the
Fastest swim.
only person swimming in it?
Oh, that'd be gross.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like a pool full of people in maple syrup is
Well, it kind of be like when you
I
swim.
don't
right?
like,
I don't
where your
drink it on
imagination goes, Greg.
purpose. Yeah.
yeah.
It's okay
Alright.
if it's by yourself, but a pool full of people now.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely not behind
We
James.
need to combine these questions.
I've heard
Pool
stories.
full of
Well, that would thin
Nutella
it
and a
out.
Speedo.
You'd be able to swim better.
Cut the sweetness.
All right. Next one. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
For those of you listening, she almost spit her drink out.
What do you
Through-
think
through her
scotch coming out of
nose.
your nose would
It's gonna
feel like?
burn.
It would
It's
burn.
It would burn
quite
a
bit.
lot, right? Clear out your sinuses, though.
Wow.
100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck.
Oh, yeah, probably. I'm gonna say because that just seems terrifying, like a horse-sized duck. So I'm gonna say 100 duck-sized horses.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought about this one. I think I could outrun the horse-sized duck.
No,
with
but
those
you gotta fight.
flappers. Like, okay, do you
Like,
have to fight it,
yeah.
or can you
Maybe
just?
Like
he's in a
head- like
pool of maple
contact.
syrup. And you're wearing an oversized jammer. So
I just feel like if I saw like a bunch
Did
of
you
like
start drinking before you
duck-sized
got here?
horses, I'd be like, "Oh my god, they're
And then you just
so
gotta-
cute!"
Then you gotta start punting them.
then they start kicking
like
you.
attacking. Yeah, I feel like they would start bucking me. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are deep, guys.
carried. If you could only do one exercise, what would it be?
For the rest of your
One
life,
extra-
you're
like,
locked
ever.
in.
meditation.
That's it. Oh,
Is that
what?
considered?
No,
No.
Nah.
no, it's not.
It's rapid
That's
fire.
hanging up
Let
the
her
phone on you.
answer it.
No.
One exercise, probably running.
Mm,
Wow.
Really?
that's 2 people in a row. And a
Yeah.
big sample size.
100%.
Would you rather be able to speak all languages or be able to speak with animals?
I heard this question too on the last one. I feel like I'm too.
She could talk to all
like
the
to
ducks.
repeat them.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
talk to those
Mhm.
duck-sized
Go chase
horses.
Greg.
Oof. They're so thinkers. Would I want to speak all languges?
We need a
Or-
gun now, like gun to head.
Yeah.
Like make these really.
I
Okay, she just took it
feel
to a weird
like-
level there.
Took it really far.
Yeah.
I'll say
Set a timer.
animals.
All right.
So everyone would just
I
think
know,
they're
right?
crazy.
That's cool.
Finally,
I mean, I
someone
talk to
picked
my
Finally,
animals
someone agrees with me.
anyway.
Yeah.
They just
That's
don't
the
talk
thing, right?
back.
That's why I had to clarify it too when they said, "Oh, you want me to speak?" We all speak to our animals.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but like there's Google Translate. So if I really want to talk to people, I could just, figure out what they're
Yeah.
saying. But animals, that's so cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
more be like
You're the
it'd be
first person
actually
to say that.
it'd be better to word the question, be able to understand animals.
Yeah, that's okay.
Actually.
Well,
make
that's-
that
implied.
I felt
It's
like if I
implied.
asked the question, then I'd be yelled
Yeah.
at, and someone would be like, shooting my head because there was guns involved. So
So
High stakes.
for real.
I know what you're going to say about this one. I don't know. Cats or dogs?
Oh, I have both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a tough question.
Yeah, you got to
Choose
pick one.
Dogs.
Ooh.
Okay.
Don't tell my
Not that hard.
cats.
The cat.
They're listening.
Don't tell my cats.
They're more
If
vindictive.
anybody's going to scheme against you, though, it's going to be cats.
Yep.
Right.
So,
If I don't go home, the cat's gonna be like, "Wow."
Pee on my
favorite
pillow.
song to karaoke to.
Baby got back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen the skills.
My anaconda don't got none.
It's
been requested.
I don't know why this question is here. Which musician most describes you and why? And there's like examples here: Madonna, Michael
This is James
Jackson,
leading
Lady
the
Gaga,
witness. He asks
Weird
the
Al
question.
Yankovic, or Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Weird Al Yankovic. That one could fit.
I feel like Weird Al
Yeah,
Yankovic.
Weird Al Yankovic for sure.
I'm gonna like review these questions for serious next time. I add.
I
I'm
mean,
like, if
the-
people add, that's fine. But now I'm just gonna start.
The document
She's
was up for everyone
definitely
to.
Weird
No.
Al.
Yeah.
Weird Al. No, you don't have to even say why. We
It's
know.
all right.
Okay, stranded on a deserted island or lost at sea.
Island. Yeah.
With her Bible.
With my Bible. With the big JC.
And jammers that are too big.
Yeah.
I think she answered the
You
next
could use
one,
it as
right?
a sail, maybe.
No.
Didn't she answer the next
Um,
one?
What song would you want to play to announce yourself every time you walk into a room?
Ooh.
Oh. I was just listening to a song and I was like, you know what? I like this song.
Your walkout music.
What song was it? I think it was like by Eminem. I don't remember.
You'll get it later.
I will. I'll be like, damn it, I had something
Someone
so
hit-
good.
We'll come back to it.
someone hit the
Maybe
buzzer.
we can edit that into the podcast too. That'll be the music when
We
we.
could
Maybe
the
introduce
intro,
her?
the
Oh,
intro.
we
Then
got to
that
pay
music.
royalties and shit. We
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
There's not like how many seconds you could do before.
I don't know. I'll look into it.
I wonder if I'll be one of those like
We're
multiple
still-
guests.
we're-
Like
You'll
we're
come
still-
back, yeah.
just
We're a poor
Back by-
podcast.
popular
Yeah,
demand.
we're gonna go
Subscribe.
deep into the hole if that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah,
Deep.
Yeah.
Who asked that last question?
I did.
Okay. What's your least favorite word? That kind of goes with the.
Yeah, cringe.
Did we do that already?
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather be able to travel to the past or see the future?
Past.
Okay.
I'd want to see the future.
Last one, Rich.
Okay. If you could reincarnate as an animal, what animal would you choose?
Turtle.
Yeah.
Turtle.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Because they live so long?
Because it's pretty similar to her.
Slow.
They seem
They
pretty
just
chill.
seem chill.
Yeah.
They get to swim and, be on the land.
They live really long too, don't
They
they?
do live long and they seem happy about living long.
Do all turtles live long? I don't know
think
the
so.
answer to
I
this,
don't
but-
know.
I think they do. I mean, maybe there is something to just moving slowly all the time.
Zone 2,
Zone
baby.
2.
Yeah, there we go.
Love it.
Imagine what you do in zone 1.
I don't think I'm ever in zone 1.
It's all
No.
part of the plan.
Well, Yvonne, excellent job on rapid
job.
fire.
You survived.
Thank
You
you.
survived.
Can
You
we
almost- you
rename
came
rapid
close.
fire to slow fire?
Got a little suspect.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
rapid,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Yeah,
there's
but slow. Rapid slow fire.
rapids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Quick.
but you can't have
It's
that
okay.
all
Zone
that
2
like set
fire.
up the question like
zone
wait a minute.
2 fire.
Yeah.
We could start a thing.
In the
That
green
works.
fire.
Yeah. All right, so let's then
Okay.
get into some of these things. You can't look at your questions.
No.
Come on. We
Well,
went
you
over the
are.
first couple ones here. So you kind of mentioned that you did a little bit of running and stuff like that, and when you first kind of came on with Next Level, how'd you get in triathlon? What was that story like?
So it's funny. I never thought about going to triathlon, but obviously being part of Next Level, you hear all the athletes. And one of the events that I took part in was a relay at the Wyckoff Tri in 2019. And I did the running part. And there was just something unfulfilling about doing only the run.
Was that coming off your half marathon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I think I did the half marathon in April. And then Wyckoff I did in June. And just waiting for me to go and listening to everyone talk about how the swim was and then talk about the bike and how hilly it was and all of that. And I thought man, I didn't experience two-thirds of
Two-thirds of
this
the race.
race.
Sure.
And it wasn't anything I ever thought I could do.
Why not?
There were so many things that got in my head, the cost factor, the time factor, the ability factor. I mean, just cross them all off the list.
That would be the first one for me.
Yeah, I was like, swim? I don't know how to swim.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just it was one of those things maybe I could do it, but, do I want to do it? And then for some reason, I thought, you know what, this time next year, I want to do the whole try. And then 2020 came, and we don't have to talk about that. We all know what happened. And I was like so bummed because I was crazily enough, I was talking to people, and I have to give a shout out to Michelle, one of our other teammates, because she was someone who was here at the time, and I would see her and go through my questions and doubts of, can I do it or not? And she kind of walked me through the process because she was also looking at doing one herself. So I talked to my husband, said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, and I need to get a bike. So the week before they closed everything down, I went to the bike store because everyone was talking about getting on the hills at Harriman in April. And I was like, I got to get a bike because, I got to be ready for this so that I can meet them on the hills in Harriman.
The hills of Harriman.
And so I went.
Sound of Griswold.
So I went to the bike store and waited online, and they had a used bike for me. And like the week after, no more bikes. Everything
Yeah, you got it at the perfect time, right?
It was crazy. It was,
amazing.
Yeah. And I walked in the store, and this guy was like, hey, what are you thinking? I was like, I'm thinking about doing a try. I don't want to commit to anything. I have like commitment issues. That might be one of my flaws, but don't tell my husband. So I was like, I'm not sure if I want to do this. I don't really want to invest in it until I really know if I like it. So I'm not looking to go anything crazy, but I need a bike. And he said, you know what? I got the perfect bike for you. And he found this used bike that was just my size, and I came out of the store with it. And then, like I said, just mayhem happened. And then I was so thankful because, having the bike and going on the run, and we were lucky enough to have access to the open water lake. And that got me through COVID. I was able to stay active and socialize. That was pretty much the only form of socializing that anyone really accepted at that time. So I got this like bonus year of training. 2020 was a wash, obviously. We did some stuff locally here.
Were you signed up for AC in 2020 or no?
No.
Okay.
I didn't sign up for anything. My only goal was to do Wyckoff Try.
Okay.
That was like the only.
It's a good goal.
I kind of remember like that 2020 year, they opened the lake up that we swim at, and I that might have been like my first like public, like the first time I was out in public with other people, and it was like it was really mentally just a weird spot to be in, like to show up at this lake.
There's other people here.
There's other people.
Do I walk 6 feet away?
Right. Like, how far do I stay away from them? Do I like not blow bubbles in the water?
Yeah.
And like it was because that we probably started swimming in.
I think it was May.
May?
Yeah, because
So-
I think it was a cold early May.
Yeah, it's like 2 months after everything shuts down, and that was my first like you go to the supermarket and stuff, but then you're all garbed up, and this is you're out there swimming with people.
Yeah.
Were you like as active as a kid too?
I was always active. I did competitive dance, and I think that
What kind of competitive dance? Let's dive into this one.
Yeah, this is new.
I did.
Our listeners want to know.
Yeah, who Yvonne Losino is. That's what I woke up.
Well, I'm going to Google this later.
So I did ballet, tap, and jazz competitively at like an academy, and that's where a lot of my discipline came from. So it's funny when I think about like, is this something that is instilled in me, and part of me thinks no, but then I look back and I think, well, yeah, that was the several times a week going to practice and really being disciplined about being there after school and putting the time in and the work in and wanting to perform and to excel. So I think getting into the triathlon or any type of racing, even though I'm not like naturally athletic, just that feeling of performance.
And just curious, because I know when we were growing up, a lot of parents forced kids to do kind of stuff as kids. Were you like really excited about going every
Yes.
about all of
She
dance?
was at like the dance place. We
I
talked about
was,
this.
yeah, the local Marilis Academy of
Yeah.
Dance Arts. I remember I started at like some.
You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look it up.
I went there too.
I'm going to throw out names too. Dance Studios Batista.
I did. I was doing more contemporary, I think you call it.
Contemporary.
Yeah.
And I
break
started
dancing
at
with a
like,
piece of
you know,
cardboard.
a local place. And, you know, I did have that drive to do more. You know, it wasn't enough. I wanted to push myself. And, you know, my family did have certain control of it. They wanted us. My grandmother was a performer
house.
and everything. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you went from jazz, tap, and ballet to half marathon, or something in between there?
Nope, I did cheerleading, and again, at the time, cheerleading wasn't the sport that it is now.
Mhm.
But I will say that my grade and whatnot, we actually were one of the first teams that actually went into competition, and I loved that, you know, because that was like a new thing. Nobody was really doing that, especially, you know, local schools. So our first our first outfit was like a sports bra and a skirt. It was so
Oh my
bad.
God.
But you know, that was growing up in the 90s. So
Scrunchies?
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely. So I always did that. I was always very coordinated. I was very dedicated and disciplined. I wasn't very athletic. I tried the track, but it was just kind of like you either ran fast or that was it. But I showed up all the time. You know, I was the person with heart. I remember I loved working out, just always loved working out. And I went with my friend. Pagoda was known for like a lot of really good coaching, good sports teams and everything like that. And especially during my time, it was really cool to grow up. We had a lot of high performing athletes in our school. And the girls basketball coach, he ran like a really tight program, and he did this amazing conditioning before practices, and I just loved what they did. They did like, you know, the suicides and you know, I don't even know if you're allowed to
Not
say
allowed
that
to say
anymore.
that anymore. Nope.
They're running back and forth and
Shuttle
touching
runs?
the
Shuttle runs.
Is that what a shuttle?
Shuttle
So yeah,
runs?
see,
Yeah.
he
didn't
did
know
like
that.
the ski jump, like just like crazy things that was just like high intensity all the
jumps?
time. Yeah, like, you know,
Yeah.
going on the line, and jumping back and forth across the line, and just like super high intensity. And I remember like pleading, like, please let me work out with you. And he's like, you got to be part of the team. And I'm like, but I can't play basketball. And he's like, no, you got to come, you know, whatever. And then I like, you know, begged him to go and work out. And he's like, all right, you know, fine, you can come and work out. And I went. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't on the team. I just wanted to work out with them. So I went with my friend who was on the team. And he said, you know, come on, Yvonne, like you're doing.
Oh, this is the boys' team.
No, there's a girls' team.
Wait.
It was a boys' coach.
Girls
Oh,
Are you
the
not
coach's
fun?
team. I
Stay
know.
with the story,
Cut
man.
him
Come on.
off. Cut him off.
I think he needs to drink more.
Yeah.
So
It's one of those two things.
I was like doing the workout. And he's like, come on, Yvonne, like you're doing the workouts, you're keeping up, like do the practice. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll give it a try. And I think I like overthrew like 2 passes. He's like, no, you're good. Just come to the workout.
Yeah.
You can go
Gonna
home.
say, I thought you like crossed enemy lines, moved from cheerleading to basketball.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, if I
gonna be
could,
this,
like
like,
I always wanted to, but like
Inspirational story. Like,
no. But I did the workouts. I loved it. And like that was the thing. Like I always like nobody told me to do it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to push myself. No, I was the girl that like scored for the other team in like 8th grade. Good times.
It's a good long one. It's like a setup.
know.
It's a whole
No.
setup of.
I can get
So-
rid of that. That's okay. I can't get rid of that though.
How do you fit triathlon into your life? Because we know it's a lot.
oh, that was such a good setup question.
I know.
You want me to
there's a
read
whole
the
thing.
setup? It's like a
Yeah.
paragraph.
Yeah.
You have a full-time job at Next Level as the business manager, managing 3 offices. You are a mother of 2 children and a grandmother, and you suffer from narcolepsy and veganism. So how do you fit triathlon into all that?
Can we touch on some of those? Because like not everybody's on the inside jokes. You are a vegan. Do you legit have narcolepsy?
I legit have a narcolepsy.
Like
yeah.
diagnosed, not just like you're
Diagnosed,
tired all the
sleep
time.
study.
Suffering from
Okay.
narcolepsy.
Went
Okay.
into REM 3 times during my nap. Narcolepsy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
She even thought, she said when she did the murky waters AC, she thought she maybe fallen asleep in the water. Like,
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Why do
Just
you
went
think there was a
black. I was
pause
like, what
before this
happened?
question? Before we did the question, she took a little like snooze, and then we just jumped right into it.
So yes, she suffers from narcolepsy and
And
veganism.
veganism.
veganism. I love that.
I saw that in the.
Mhm.
Yes. How do I fit that into my life? How do I not with the crazy life like that? You got to do something for yourself.
Yes. Good answer.
But try is like demanding. It's time demanding. So what are your tips and tricks?
What am I? So the number one tip I'd say if you're in a family is to have that conversation. I took last year off. My daughter had a baby, and I wanted to be there with her and enjoy my grandson, whose name cannot be revealed. I was given
He who shall not be named.
Yeah, I was given strict instruction. Yeah. So, but yeah. So last year I took the time off, and then this year I said I wanted to go back into it, and I had a conversation with my husband. Just said, "Hey, listen, we know how demanding this is. Are you okay with this? Because this is going to become my priority. When I do something, I do it 100%. And I don't want to do it if I can't do it 100%, especially with something that requires this amount of preparation and training. So, he said, hey, I'll pick up whatever balls get dropped from you doing this. So definitely if you're in a family, and the good thing is that from doing it and from not doing it, my family knows who I am, and they know that I need this, so they support it because they've seen me not do it, and I'm not as pleasant, surprisingly.
Like, can you just go out and run for a while?
Yeah, exactly. But it's a lot. I mean, it does take a lot. I think, and nothing against the males in this forum, but it's a lot for a woman to say, I need to do this, and to remove themselves from the family when, so many people depend on you, to get away from that feeling of like, well, this is selfish and I need to be somewhere else. So, I almost am driven by the demand of the sport because it makes me prioritize it. And if I didn't have that demand, I think just naturally as providers and working and all that stuff, if you don't have something that pulls your attention like that, then you're so easy to just say, I don't need to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that you have to do it at 100% or nothing?
And it's funny because my 100%, it's not like podium finish. My 100% is just making sure that I am prepared because, especially since I felt so prepared after my first 70.3, I don't want to cut corners because I felt really good.
That's your 100%.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that not giving 100%, there's just more opportunity for injury, for, just not enjoying it. Surprisingly enough, it's because if I'm in it 100%, then I'm experiencing all of it, and I'm not making those negotiations.
That's an awesome answer.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah.
So we touched on this a little bit, and as like a card carrying carnivore, that's a lot of C's. I kind of want to know, you're a vegan. What are some of the challenges of keeping that lifestyle going and dealing with triathlon
and having friends?
But still like you. My only challenging part really is post race because I've gotten in a pickle post race when they don't have any vegan options. But honestly, I don't think I think whatever your dietary needs are, it's really about planning and intention. I've been a vegan for I think 10 years now, so like the food choices that I have to make, I know what they are. It's just a matter of planning and making sure that I have the appropriate a volume and nutrition that is intentional for my racing needs.
Do you feel like you've kind of how do you change what you're eating? Is it just a volume thing as you like get heavy into your training versus like last year when you weren't doing as much training? Like, are you eating different things when you're in the middle of training versus not, or is it just eating more of things?
Definitely eating cleaner, and it depends. Like, there's obviously a little bit looser leash when it's off season or in the beginning. As I get closer to a race, I'm just trying to be more cleaner with my decisions. And then depending on the length of the race, I will start eating like very clean, like a week before, or like with 70.3, I probably started more like a month before, like just cutting out alcohol. And
similar to the rest of us.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I don't think there's any challenge per se. I actually think, especially since endurance sports are so carb heavy, I actually thrive.
Right.
So how do you survive? How do you survive the calorie requirements when you can only eat like lettuce and stuff?
Oh my God.
Because I don't just eat lettuce.
What else is out there?
Carrots and
Okay,
peppers.
but so are you limited? Is there a lot of options for you from the brands that do like goos and
I was going to
gels
ask
and
that.
all
I think
that,
that's an
that
interesting
kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Do you have to like? Is there stuff out there? Are there options out there for you, or do you have to rely on yourself to make that and pack that and digest that?
There's definitely options. I try to familiarize myself with all of them so that when there is a variety, I know what I can have, what I can't have. So, just being familiar with the different brands that are available and what is not good. Like the other day, somebody on our trail run bought those gummies. Usually anything that's gummy is gelatin based.
Right. I was going to ask, are there like hidden ingredients that what are the hidden things that you look out for? Like when you look at a label, like gelatin, obviously.
Gelatin's a big one.
Cow.
Dairy. I mean, there's not much dairy in usually the gels are pretty good. I'm
Egg stuff.
Eggs, but that would be like in the waffles, like those Stroop waffles. But like Tapped, I know that they're like a
That's
fully
all.
vegan brand, and we did an MS ride over the fall, and they basically had all Tapped the waffles, and
those are vegan also.
those are vegan.
So if Tapped is listening, we have an athlete
Yeah.
We have
here.
an athlete who'd love
But
some
but like
support.
Honey Stingers is not. So
what's in
I don't
Honey
want your
Stingers
support.
that?
They in their waffles, I think they have eggs.
Yeah.
Okay, but the gels are okay, or
The gels, I mean, so if I personally eat honey,
Okay.
a vegan, for anyone's keeping score. But if you're like a hardcore vegan, if you avoided honey, then you wouldn't have honey stingers.
oh yeah, duh.
Yeah.
See, that's the carnivore in me.
Yeah.
Not
no
having-
idea.
Not even
For a
thinking
loop
about
there.
it.
No.
I'm like,
There-
yeah, eating the bees.
There's a lot in this next paragraph to unwrap and unravel. So I'm going to try to go with a
I
few
think
separate
James
questions.
should ask
Oh,
that
yeah.
question.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So the question was, I don't remember the details exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was like on a trainer ride. We were on a virtual trainer ride. Maybe you mentioned you had signed up for the AC 70.3, and I didn't know if I signed up already at that time or if it was just in my head I was thinking, oh, if Yvonne can do it, then I should be able to also. Like I should sign up if you just said that you were going to. So I don't remember if I said that out loud. Maybe you remember.
I do.
You did mention that a lot of people seem to use you as this benchmark of if Yvonne is doing it, I should be able to do it too. Why do you think people underestimate your athletic prowess?
I think that question is, why are you an amazing inspiration to everybody?
Yeah.
Aw, yeah.
I'm going to put on my red lipstick and cross James's name off the list. So I don't think anyone necessarily, I think their perspective of my physical prowess is on point. What I think people don't realize is that the physical part of it is just one component. There's so many different aspects about racing. You have the determination, the discipline, the stamina that's all required, and where I lack in the physical aspect, I make up for those three. And a lot of times I think those other three overpower the physical part of it. So, definitely, I mean, I work in a clinic constantly ridden with these high-performing athletes. And so, yes, when the story would go around of like, yeah, we're all doing this triathlon, it was like expected that everyone else that was participating was participating. I was like, oh yeah, of course you are. And they say, Yvonne's doing it too. And they'd be like, really? And I'd be like, yeah, here I am. I mean, I work behind the desk and,
You're working with Dr. John. You work with
yeah,
Jerry.
at the time,
these
John was there,
athletes.
Jerry was there. Yeah, so it's like, and I'm not gonna, I am generally the one that's chasing everyone in the back of the pack. But the thing is that, I'm chasing everyone in the back of the pack. There's just something even with that a lot of people, I feel so bad when people are like, I can't do that because I can't keep up, or I don't, I don't want to look slow or something like that. I'm like, who cares? Just do it. Like you're still a part of it. You're still doing it. And what's great about triathlon and any endurance sport is that, it also depends on what your expectation is to get out of it. You have your people who are going to be the podium finishers, and that wasn't, my place at, maybe at some point when I'm 90 and everyone else dies off and I'm still doing it, I'll have my moment to shine. But like, really, you can make the race whatever you want to make it. So whether you want to, place in your age group, or you just want to, improve on your times, you can make the race whatever you want. And that's what I love about it. It's not just about, performing. It's about showing up and doing it. And, if anything, I show up and I do it. So that's probably what they don't take into consideration.
And James said it, I think, on the last episode. He said he prefers to chase rather than be chased. So I think you're just leaning into it. You're just chasing rather than being chased.
I hate the feeling of someone creeping up behind me.
So
It gives me
it's
some
a
anxiety.
horrible feeling.
There's something to be comfortable in that place of, one, it's nice because there's no expectation, like you really just can do what you can do that day.
But I think I think you're selling yourself short in that you have your expectations for yourself. They're just not the same as, like, everybody has their own expectations. And I think I really like the way you're answering it, in that you're not just saying, I just want to be here to take part in this. I just want to finish, or like, you have concrete goals that you're trying to achieve, and they're just your goals.
Yeah.
They're not anybody else's goals. And I think that's an important piece of it. Like, you're challenging yourself as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good thing for people to take away from this, is that you're not just doing it to be there or just to finish. Like, you're doing 100%. It to do as well as you can with your abilities. Like,
which I always say, it's like, like I said, and I always try to pass it off very cavalier, but what I put out there, that's my 100% for that day. And my 100% is obviously going to be different than someone else's 100%. But who's to say that, I'm not working at 100% and someone's working at 80%. They're just happen to be faster.
Right.
But I'm still giving it all that I have every single time. So that's just how I roll.
A wise
right?
man told me.
You said we're all suffering the same.
Yeah.
A wise man told me everyone's
speeds.
hard is hard.
Yeah, I've met that wise man.
So
Iron Cowboy.
the Iron Cowboy said that, huh?
I think you have a lot of great moments ahead of you and all this stuff that you do. But so far to date, what's been your favorite race moment, and what's been your horrible worst?
So favorite, I'm part of this team. So one of the pros of being one of the slower ones is that usually everyone's waiting at the end for you. So I do it on purpose. I do it to get the, the clapping finish and the accolades. I think it was NJ State, and that was my first Oli, and I was finishing up, and I think it was James that it was either James or Greg that was by that finish tunnel. And he was and I was in my own head, and I was like, okay, finish this. And, my family wasn't able to come. So I was kind of just okay, why I finished? Nobody knows, nobody cares, whatever. And then all of a sudden I hear you got this, come on, you're doing it. And that was just the biggest breath of oxygen that I had, that I was oh my God, my friends are here. And then I just saw everyone was cheering and whatever. And I mean, to bottle up that feeling and just take it home with you is just amazing. So if you have that opportunity, or if you want one, I know a team, a very supportive team.
Links are in the show notes.
Yeah.
But so that's always my favorite. Honestly, the race, I always feel the race is what I have to do to hang out with my friends. So everything between the training and even race weekend, that's hands down my favorite part. I luckily haven't had any worse moments, but I did have a funny story where for the NJ State try that I did, that was my first one in between 70.3. And I have these index cards, Dr. John gave us this whole list of things that you need to have. And I was great, whatever. And I had different index cards for each of the disciplines to make sure that I had, my, chapstick, things that you would forget when you go on the run.
I looked at the
and
index
stuff
card and was yeah, I think I'm good.
Did you show up late for that one too?
No, I didn't show up late. I was there on time.
She was a little late.
No.
You were at the end.
Late, they let us get 5 hours early. I like to show up and go.
You were the last one. She was the last one. She drove there. We all slept there, I think.
Yes. So, but I was there at an appropriate time that,
you were plenty of time.
Absolutely perfectly fine. But
everybody else was nervous that you weren't going to make
Of
it.
the whole
Yes,
list, you
we
came
were.
up with chapstick?
Well, those are things that like when you
That's
go on, you're like,
important.
damn it, I forgot my
Is
chapstick.
that on the list?
I cannot tell you the last time I touched chapstick.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
it's on your
God,
list.
I'm
I'm
right now.
addicted. I'm addicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like
Once
it's
you
just
start, you can't
any
stop.
like
Right.
Do you have
honestly,
it in your
I-
pocket? Oh man,
Uh-huh.
I couldn't tell
For
you.
those who did not know, James just pulled out chapstick.
Is that a
out of his
chapstick in your
pocket.
pocket?
It's weird. If I don't have chapstick in my pocket, I'll have chapstick in my pocket or just with lip balm. If I have it, my lips don't feel chapped.
Same.
If I realize I forgot it,
Yes.
all of a sudden my lips, I'm like, oh my gosh, my lips are
It's
so
like-
dry.
And you're
It's like an
dehydrated. You're like, I
OCD.
need water.
Man, another Napoleon. My lips
whole
are
It's like
other
an
under
episode.
OCD thing.
I think
whole other
so.
episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had more than chapstick. I had literally put everything on the list that I needed because in the moment I was afraid that I was going to forget something. So like something super, I wrote like, don't get on the bike until after the line, put your helmet on. Like I really just like put all these things that I was concerned about.
Wait, you weren't like running with your index cards,
No,
right?
it was on top
They
of
were
my stuff in my
taped to the
transition.
bike.
It was like
Okay.
no, it was like on my transition
Okay.
area. I didn't take it with
So
me.
did you stop in T2 to read
I
your card?
didn't stop and read. I just like put things on while I was like looking at
Stop
it. Like
it,
I had
Greg.
it. I had a
I'm
very
thinking we can
beautiful
find some
system.
free
Greg.
time here. If we
No.
can. Okay.
No, like I had it laid out. So I had my helmet laid out. I had my sunglasses in my helmet, and then I had the index card. And while I was taking off my wetsuit, I was reading. Okay, I got this. I got this. I
Did
got
you have
this.
one thing on every index card? Like
No, I had
sunglasses.
three.
He
different
actually
ones.
Like,
he
it's
brought
so-
somebody who held them up like cue cards.
That would be great. I would if someone could do that for me. Can we like make
reading
that
in
a
the show.
thing? Like cue cards.
Got this.
So the point of the story was I
It's a
got
tough
everything
crowd.
ready and I grabbed my bike and I start running towards the bike out. And my bike was stationed like on the opposite
Yeah, you were
side.
far.
Yeah, I had to like run across the entire field. And about halfway down, I realized I didn't put my shoes on.
Oh my god.
Did you have the index card for that?
No, but I do
That's why.
now.
Oh,
But I
tell
do
Dr. John to
now.
make that edit.
So I had to run all the way back, put my shoes on, and then after that, I added "put your shoes on" my index card.
Do you
'Cause
still
that's
use index
dumb.
cards?
I do.
Okay.
I don't like it's one
This
of those
is where
things
you
like
find
once
the
you
free
write it
time there,
down,
Greg.
you remember it. Like I don't like look at it and study it, but like once I read now I know like I'll never forget to put my shoes on.
Transition
but
clinic
I'll still
coming
write
up.
it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's a good one.
Um,
Yeah, I like that. Anybody else have something like that where you like ran out and forgetting stuff? Or,
Nothing like
On our
gels. I've
mini-
forgotten gels. Like,
Yeah.
I've only
that-
forgotten to
dropped
like.
gels.
Remember when you dropped
hit
all
the
those
wash.
Oh my
gels?
god, I dropped like all my gels next
Yeah.
to James.
Right on the
Were you
AC
the one that took
Parkway
it
or
in the
whatever it was.
water? Were you? The
I
one that,
also
like-
dropped
She lost
one
them in the
water.
water,
warming
I
up
did.
for-
yes,
yeah.
I lost one in the water, and then not that same
Some
race.
seagulls
at
are
AC
very
race.
fat right now.
Yeah, I pulled one gel out of my little thing on my bike, and like 5 fell
Yeah,
out.
it's
I
like-
was like, oh no!
I was like, oh my god! It's like Marilyn, you okay? I was like,
Yeah, things they don't
Yeah.
tell you.
Like sunblock, I've forgotten one race, and I was like not happy,
Mhm.
but that's not a major thing.
All right. So how about stuff coming up? Like we've talked about some of your favorite race moments, your worst race moments. Where are we going from here?
Where am I going? So, like I said last year I actually did Wyckoff without training, and that's why again I don't.
What was that like?
Was that like no training or without training?
That was no training.
You got to like tell us what that means.
Yeah. So I mean that.
did you finish?
So that was I did
Of
finish.
course she did.
I mean, just let the
well,
listeners
some people
know.
didn't. So so to wrap it around, I did it because I was like that was the one race that I wanted to
Oh,
do,
right.
and
And
it didn't
COVID
happen,
didn't
and
let you.
COVID, and
Yeah.
all that. So I was like, I gotta do it. I don't care. Like this is the only race that I'll do, and I figured it's a short distance.
Mhm.
You know, how bad could it be?
Yeah.
How bad could it be?
So we
Yeah.
got in the water.
We got in the water. I was like, oh crap, this is why you train.
Yeah.
And you know, there obviously your head's in the water. You're not like talking to your friend. You don't know that they're having the same experience too. And I was like, wow, I am really struggling. Like this is
Yeah.
bad. And I was super concerned because I was like, my legs just stopped working. For anyone who did Wyckoff, I heard after the fact that you know a lot of people struggled with it. And I'm not like I'm not a strong swimmer or fast swimmer at all, but I'm comfortable in the water, and I was concerned.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people had issues. In
That
the
was,
water.
I think it
right?
that
was
was
a- I
the
think
first
it
time
was-
I ever had a panic attack in the water.
And I think it might have just been it was the first like open water
Mass start.
It was the first mass start a lot of you guys had done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
I
yeah.
PR'd
Yeah, you had
Rich
Did you
came
really?
off of that. He won like lap the lake in your
age group.
age group, and then
Wow.
a week later he's
Yeah.
he's back at Franklin Lakes or Wyckoff.
Yeah.
I think we also were not standing for our in the right spot in our group. So like all the women, we were like right in the middle of the whole pack.
Yeah, it was odd. It
was-
was like
and,
there was this.
I think the
were
mascot
current
thing
or
is,
something.
you know,
It was
I don't
good. I'm glad we
Yeah,
experienced
do
it.
the fist drill.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
So
But I,
just
you know,
punch people.
it's I was able to pull. I remember just hearing, John's my coach, and I just remember him thinking like, "You're fine. Just take
It'll
it
be
easy.
okay.
You're
It'll
all
all be
right."
okay.
And I just kind of took it stroke by stroke, and I just took it in bite sizes. I said, "All right, I'm gonna go on my back for like 5 strokes," and I gave myself 5 strokes, and then I'm like, "All right, turn around and get a couple in," and then I would go to the next buoy, and I'm like, "All right, give yourself another 5 strokes on your back, get back out there," and I just kind of paced it out for myself and took a minute and regrouped and got through it. And I remember that wonderful, glorious woman, if you're listening, that was waving the flags, and I thought
yeah.
she was like my saving grace. I was
Mhm.
like, all right, cool. And I got out of the water. I was like, oh, this was tough.
Yeah.
So
Now, Wyckoff was supposed to be your first race of triathlon,
Yeah.
and then COVID happened, and then you actually signed up for AC first, right? Like you signed up straight for 70.3,
yeah,
without having ever done
why
any
not?
races.
Yeah.
Right, but you when did you sign up
NJ
for NJ
State.
State? That was before
Like a
AC.
week before NJ State happened.
So you were like, before
was
the
like,
70.3, maybe we try one of these
Yeah.
out first.
And I'm
I
glad I
think
did because I forgot my shoes.
Yeah, you weren't going to go to NJ State, and
I
we
wasn't.
kind of bullied you to go.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, like, is it worth it and whatever. And I thought, well, I really probably should get some type of experience before I just
Yeah.
go out there. I'm not like, I mean, actually, the guy that was stationed next to me, he just like rolled out of bed and was like, oh, what's this tri thing about? And I was like, good on you, because that would have not been me. I was like, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I ended up, which was probably one of the smartest things I did, signing up for the Ollie before the 70.3. And it really just helped figure out the flow of the race and what to expect and to work out those kinks. And, I definitely understood it better. And I still, had panic attacks the night before. I don't think I slept the entire week before 70.3. And it was funny because I didn't feel like I was nervous or anything, but, my body was like, what are you doing? And I didn't sleep the entire night before. And that was just miserable. My heart was like, I felt like the Bugs Bunny character where like my heart was like literally coming out of my chest. And I remember holding my chest down and I'm like, it's okay. We'll be okay. And I just was so nervous. And then just something else comes over. Like when they say, go, 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 you're like, all right. And we jumped in the water and then it was just so salty. And I was like, this can't be vegan. And I just remember like swimming.
I did pee in the water, so probably not.
I was terrible. I felt like I was like in a tin can of sardines. It was so gross. And then I kept on hitting someone and I looked up and it was Marilyn and she's like, it's you. And I was like, it's you.
Marilyn's probably angry. She's probably angry. She's like,
She
who
did.
is this that keeps hitting me?
She hit me like 2 times. I was like, why does this person keep hitting me? And I like stopped swimming and I look over. I'm like, it's you.
And I was like getting whipped on the other side, and I was like, "It's you!" Like, because I'm thinking, like, "What the hell is this person's problem?" And thankfully it was like each other. And I think we found out that it was actually James that was swimming next to me or something.
Was I?
Yeah,
I don't
we were
remember.
all like kind of around the same
Yeah.
thing.
My warm trail. Like,
I think we were all veering like one way, and then we had to
Yeah.
like shift to the
Yeah,
other,
yeah.
and then it was like, "Oh God, like what's happening?" And then the thing was too when we were
yeah, because me and Marilyn, I think we went out at the
We
same
went
time.
out together. Yeah.
Yeah, and we finished around the same time. And during COVID, the other problem was, especially with the swimming, was that you didn't get a lot of that opportunity to swim next to people.
Yeah.
You were reserving lanes if you're in a pool, and then at the lake, we didn't really swim together like that. So that was like that first experience of swimming with people next to you and on top of you. And it's very jarring for sure, but just gotta know that you're okay and adapt and make decisions as you need, know when to breathe and when not to breathe and get through it.
So have you signed up for Wilmington 70.3 yet?
I have
She's
not.
what? You're my roommate.
Don't tell my roommate. Yeah, I told you I have commitment issues. I just have to. Hopefully they don't sell out. But
Okay, surprise. We're doing it on the show.
Yeah.
Get your
Yes.
phone
There
out.
we
Yeah,
go.
let's
Someone
just
get her
register right now.
My plan, my master plan for this year is to most likely do Wyckoff or Sprint again, and then do another Ollie, and then do North Carolina.
Wait, so does all that have to happen first before you pull the trigger?
No.
No. you need
Okay,
to
because
sign
you need
up.
to sign up before
I know.
it sells out.
I you know.
Mhm.
Rapid
think I have
fire
it, like,
sign up.
You know, I'm
No.
a very like, you know, I pay my bills on time. I don't like things like that. But for some reason with this race thing, like I just like to like wait until the last minute and be like, okay, let me do it. Like, I don't know.
Always gives you an out. Wasn't there an out like if you sign up within the first?
Not anymore.
not anymore.
She
We're
missed
past that.
Yeah.
But
So
you
see,
wouldn't
now I
get
have
your
to do
money
it.
back. You can only transfer into
That's
another
okay.
race.
I think that would have convinced her to do it.
I mean, this is like almost half the team is doing this one
I know.
or more.
It might be
Or-
more
You
than
need
that.
You
to
don't have to convince me.
Go home
So
today
then what is the
and
issue?
sign up.
Why do you think we had you on the show?
I changed my room.
Yeah.
This is an intervention.
I'm not actually
I'm gonna sign that
recording.
comes
This
down
is
and says like
just to
intervention.
sign up.
I'm
It's like-
already sleeping in a queen bed.
I know.
So-
Well, you know what? I was like, if Marilyn sleeps in a queen bed because I told her I was going to go down, she's going to kill me.
You're my comic relief.
What, you need a king bed?
Yvonne, yeah.
Marilyn, you're 5'1".
Yvonne.
What are you doing? It like
I know.
making
being
snow
judgy?
angels?
I've had to share twin beds with
Yvonne
like
likes to
full-grown
ride her
adults,
bike through the hallways at hotels.
She's
do.
sleeping with her bike.
That wasn't even a
I don't even know if her bike needs a king size
Yeah.
bed. It's a
Yeah.
48 or something. It's
Let me tell you, she's tiny, but she is mighty.
nobody's
Oh,
questioning that.
I'm scared of Marilyn. Actually, if I have to,
You and me
sometimes
both.
on the swims when we're in competition
Uh-huh.
and I hit someone, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope that's not Marilyn. Like I'm worried. Like, is that Marilyn? I can't see. It's like,
You just like get up the water and you just see that face. Like, just like, what do you
I hope it's
doing,
Yvonne and
stupid?
not Marilyn.
yeah,
I hope it's Greg
I
and
could
not
just see her
Marilyn.
like
Why?
disapproval. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I'm scared.
So yeah, I will sign up. I will.
When?
Well, it's official now. It's
Tomorrow.
recorded.
Tomorrow.
It's on record.
I
Tomorrow.
know. I will.
Are you looking it up?
I'm just gonna make sure it's not sold out.
Yeah,
It's
It's
not
not,
sold out
be
yet.
no, it's not
crazy.
sold out yet.
He's putting in a reminder for himself to remind her tomorrow to sign up.
Remind him to remind me. Yeah.
The benefit is if it's sold out, you can always get in through the XC program. We'll have a fundraiser.
Little do you know.
We'll have a bake sale out front.
Yeah.
We'll
Really
sell
stuck on that, huh?
10
Jerry's
grand
like,
worth
how
of
come we've only
cupcakes.
gotten like half of our
15,000.
revenue this month?
Can you give us
You
like
could probably pay for it if
Still
you lower
open.
the heat in here.
Still open.
It is warm. James is sweating.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
Can you give us like a bird's eye
Jerry,
view of your training?
if you're listening, you need to see what
Yeah,
these
where you
people
at
are doing with
training-wise?
the thermostat.
Training wise, so I started coaching. I started doing coaching with John again, which I find beneficial. I do about 2 strength training sessions right now, and what that you don't
Greg is
have
not
them or
anti-strength.
No,
He
I'm
that's-
not anti-strength.
He's anti.
well, I did ask for it. You know, I know a lot of my weaknesses stem from
Your weakness?
My weakness.
My weakness is my weakness.
You can't use the word in the definition.
Stems. Well, you know, you guys just assumed I was going to say weakness. But yeah, I do know that I need strength in my hips. Who doesn't? And my legs. So I did ask during the off season to be heavy on the strength in my lower body. So, doing my strength workouts, doing 2 swims. John plans for 3,000 meters, but who are we kidding?
Meters or yards?
Yeah.
Right, because that makes the difference.
Does he?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
the
know.
same.
But
It's a little different.
and
No?
probably have I
Not
think he's
that
starting to
much.
amp up my bike rides. So I had like 3 bike rides this week, and then I usually have 1 track workout and 1 longer run. So I'm sure that's going to change.
How many days a week?
6. There's been a couple of bricks. That's really challenging. It's especially this time of year. It's hard, you know.
Mhm.
The cold.
Yeah.
You said track
So-
workouts?
Yeah.
Don't
Just because I don't go to your
judge.
track workout doesn't mean I don't have my own.
Just checking.
Yeah. Well, so you know, my schedule has changed, so I have to make it fit. So like yesterday, I had to do my run and then go to work and then do my strength in the evening. So, you know, that does take a lot to
You
wake
feel
up
like
early
you're getting
and-
into the rhythm of things, though, and like
I
starting to
think
see some
so.
fitness gains and stuff.
gains. I'm gaining. I'm definitely saying the gains. You know, probably have to figure out the nutrition part better. You know, it just there's been an entire year, and even though I stayed active, again without that intentionality, especially with racing, it does change. So your
Mhm.
body has to adjust and reacclimate to this type of lifestyle. I think with the nutrition part of it and everything, just again, dialing in on what's necessary is takes time. And there's been a whole year. I mean, now that I'm over 40, every year is a fun surprise of what
Mhm.
changes year by year. So Can't just say, oh, well, I did this 2 years ago,
Right.
and think it's just all going to be. There's a little bit of that memory that comes back to you, but you just have to, be where you are now and then come up with a game plan and see what's working.
Do you have any goals for this year?
I remember just wanting to cut down on my times. I wanted to focus on swim and bike, just cut down on my times there, and just be more efficient in my performance. That was basically.
Those are great goals.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about, there was a Facebook post where you were having issues. Someone had heard about your issues and they were apologetic.
Mm-hmm.
I have
What
no
issues?
idea what you're
What
talking
is
about.
this?
I know this is another
Miss?
rapid fire one. Please tell us.
What is this?
Oh, my bike issues.
Well, yeah. So the way the question was
Oh.
phrased, like, oh, I heard about your issues. I'm so sorry to hear about that.
Yeah.
And it was it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, what's going on with
I
Yvonne?
started getting texts like,
She
"Are
got
you
the
okay?"
wrong-
And I'm like,
I
"I'm
know.
fine."
It was on the Facebook
I was
page.
like sitting on my couch, like, "Should I
I
not be
saw
okay?" Like, you just don't know. You're I'm like, "I think I am." Like, what happened? Like,
I'm
I don't know.
confused.
So
Me
the
too.
wrong bike.
Yeah.
So it was,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I got
Okay.
the wrong bike.
That's sad.
And I'll tell you, I was pretty sad about it. I mean, I was
I'm
okay,
sure,
but
yeah.
How long
It's
till
really
you get
bummer.
the
It totally
right one?
sucks.
so with the company that I'm going with, and I'm not getting any sponsorship, so I won't say their
Mhm.
name.
Don't say
but
their name.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
They're not paying, they don't get some
that's
voice.
it. I don't get my love, but the way that they work, it's just kind of like as is on stock is in stock. So I have to just keep looking. And when I did their little formula, I don't know what happened. I ended up getting the wrong size bike, and it the problem is it takes me so long to be like, all right, I'm gonna bite the bullet and I'm gonna get this thing.
Commitment
Now you
issues.
have to.
I'm so
yeah.
frugal. So
Yeah.
on one hand I get like, meh, who needs it? On the other hand, it was like so nice to get that shiny new bike.
Mm.
And I never thought at this age in my life that I'd be so excited to get a brand
get a
new
bike.
bike.
Yeah.
But it's like
it's a big deal.
It really
Yeah.
is.
James
like,
is excited about it every week.
I know. He wants a new bike all the time.
every
Yvonne
time. Every
Marilyn
time.
finally told me something that has resonated in my head, that
There's
my
always going to be
mantra.
something nicer.
There's always going to be a prettier bike. So
Mhm.
it's my
Yeah.
mantra now.
Mhm.
So, but is it like, ooh, there's always gonna be a prettier bike, so I can always get a prettier one, or is it
Well,
to
don't-
tell yourself
No.
like
Now you're
no?
unprogramming.
No, can you? I fixed him, and you're breaking him.
I feel like I know James enough to be like, wait, which way is he like going with this? Because it can go one of
It
two
could
ways.
go 2 ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think
Like,
about it that
ooh.
way.
Oh God,
Just the
Yvonne.
constant upgrade. Yeah.
He's
until
gonna start his own business, just like one come in, one come out kind of thing.
My bet for this podcast was that by the end of the podcast, Yvonne was going to be interviewing us. The questions were going to be flipped.
That's true.
If I knew that was an option, I thought I was, being a rule
But
follower.
it did say that the bikes may be in stock by March. So
Here's hoping.
that's not
I mean,
terrible.
it's January. We're only
That's
2 months
good.
away.
It is.
That's all right.
It
Yeah,
is.
time.
But it took me a long time to find the bike that I got, which was frustrating
Mhm.
because I was, on a list and whatever, and I was looking, every so often. So when it came up, it was like,
So it got delivered to you. You got it. You
Everything.
opened it up, and
Yep.
you're like, nope.
this ain't gonna work. Yeah, my husband was nice enough to put it together
Like
for
as soon
me.
as you
Oh
step,
no,
like,
he put it together
on
and
it.
everything.
Mostly, probably I would say like it was 60 to 70% done, and we went to do the seat, and it was like, wait, something's not right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So does that at least put you at the top of the list? Have you sent this one back?
No.
Yes, that bike has gone back, and apparently, because I'm like creating
Oh.
some weird noises here. Apparently, the way that they do it is like if 8,000 people get on the list for a bike and they only get 2,000 bikes, they only send it to like 2,000 random people. They don't
Oh.
notify everyone who's
Oh,
been
it's
put on this
random?
list.
Oh,
So you have to just keep checking.
Yeah.
that's horrible. I feel like since you
Yeah.
returned one, you should be
Yeah,
automatically at the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah, that's
Like,
not how that
especially since it
works.
wasn't your mistake.
Yeah.
Of
No,
Oh.
yeah, that's
it
horrible.
was their online
Do
fit
they
calculator.
return your
Yeah.
money so that at least you can?
Yeah, and they
look
did offer me
elsewhere?
some
Oh,
accessories.
so you could take that money and
Like if it-
register for.
I think
in
they just,
North
like,
Carolina with it.
But if a bike pops up somewhere else, it's not like you're tied to them now.
No, but I am.
It was a pretty bike.
It was
It
a
was a
really
pretty
nice
bike.
bike.
And a lot of the things that you guys talk about with like, especially with the bike. I think with the tri part, the bike was my biggest anxiety because I'm like, I don't know how to take care. Like, I don't know about bikes. You know, like you can just put sneakers on and run, and you can just find water and swim legally.
I don't know. Some people might disagree. Let's not tell people to
you
find
could.
water and go jump in.
Tell them I sent you. It's okay. But the bike part, you know, you need a bike. So that was like, you know, one of my biggest hesitations in doing this. I'm like, oh, bikes. And then I found out how much they were. And I was like, wow, these are a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know, once I wrap my head around something, you know, I kind of stick to it. So knowing my personality, I'll probably just wait and just be angry until I get it.
Yeah.
Just learn.
Well, it's exciting. New bikes are always fun.
Me too, FTP test.
So you did the 5K time trial?
I did do the time trial.
What was your time?
Oh, I don't know. I try not to look at that.
Why are
You
you
don't
putting
know.
her on the spot like that?
I have to know.
That's not.
Why do you have to know if you won?
I mean,
you definitely won.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
Here
me.
it is.
James,
It's a
you're
small
you're being a track bully right now.
Is that a thing? Track bullies?
Is there?
Yeah,
Are there?
We're making it a
is.
thing.
That's what you're being.
I want to know. Did you improve?
You know, actually, to run 30 minutes continuously like that at that intensity, I haven't done it in a long time. So I was happy
Hard.
to be, you know, at least where I was at when I had left. So
That's great.
yeah, that was. I was hoping, you know, sometimes you do all these workout and you're like, I'm still the same person. And it's like, well, yeah, you are the same person. You're not gonna like just change overnight. But yeah, it's funny when I run with you guys and everyone just looks like so effortlessly. And in my head, I'm moving the same way. Just
I
my
got to
legs
start
aren't
showing up
going.
to the track workout so you don't feel that way anymore. You can look at
Yeah,
Greg and be
right.
like, oh.
I've heard about your numbers, Greg.
No.
It's definitely not. In my head, I'm a mess. It's chaos.
Well, this week
I'm more like you, Yvonne. I feel like I'm moving, and then I run past like a storefront, and I see that myself in the reflection, and I'm like, oh shit,
happens.
that's not what I
You
thought.
feel like you're running like great, and then you see a video of yourself, and you look like Phoebe from Friends, just like arms wailing
not
and like
far
just like
off.
all
That
over the
happens
place.
Like I thought I was
Everybody.
moving a lot faster. Like I'm really seeing myself
Yeah.
go through this window.
that happens
It-
to everybody.
I feel like Marilyn looks like Mario and Luigi, just like
Yeah.
doon, doon, doon. Like she's just like on this little beat and just so slow and just does this like pose every time she runs. It's
This-
amazing.
I will never speak poorly of Marilyn and her running. I can just the only thing I will say is we can hear you coming,
Yeah.
Marilyn.
yes,
That's-
yes, you can.
It's just
I know.
amazing. She looks like she's in slow motion, but she is just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
booking it, and you're just like, that can't even be right. Like
This week, I actually said, oh, because somebody made a comment about I just want to finish the time trial. I said, everybody here can finish.
Yeah.
And except for me.
She bullied herself.
Yeah.
I did not finish it.
Oh
She went a
no.
little too hard, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It'll be fine.
Or it was that accidental 11-mile trail run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marilyn got
Destroyed my
lost
legs.
in the woods.
It's the Yale Trail.
What happened?
Destroyed
What
my
happened
legs.
with that?
We
That's
got
happened to me
lost.
before. Oh yeah, that always sucks.
Yeah.
That's
we
the only
got,
thing
we
with
got
trail
lost.
running.
Not only a little lost, we were lost for 4 miles.
But like, I always
And
wonder,
then
like, if you're
climbing.
lost, right, with those trails, like, I know that my watch has that option, like, go back
Yeah.
to start, and it'll take you back to the start.
Yeah, but if she got lost by
We
4 miles, that
couldn't-
means she's 7 or 8
we were,
miles
yeah,
in.
we were like 5 or 6 miles in.
How'd you
Right.
get out?
We had All Trails, I think it is, has a map that is GPS that shows you your spot. But the problem is we couldn't get to where we were supposed to be. We were literally like
There's a lot of L's in
bushwhacking,
that.
like through woods and to get to the trail we needed to get to take us to our car.
Thank God
Wow.
Yale brought his machete.
Yeah.
Good thing
Yeah.
you guys would have still been out there.
It was
Good thing it didn't end up like the Blair Witch Project.
literally like we ran
It
into
might have.
this
It
one
hasn't
guy
been
and
released
he
yet.
actually said, "You guys again?"
That's the worst when you're on a trail and you're like, I'm on it, and then all of a sudden you're like, where am I? And then
Yeah.
you're just so far off that you're just like,
we
this
don't
is
even know
terrible.
where how or where we missed the one trail marker, but we really
Yeah.
My wife went trail running with a friend at High Mountain Preserve and up in Wayne. And so that's like it's an okay sized park, but it's surrounded by like suburbs. And they had this whole plan. They thought they were there. And then they just dumped out into some cul-de-sac
Yeah.
in a neighborhood. And they're like,
Yeah.
All right. This is your home now.
yeah, I don't,
Yeah.
I
This is
don't
where you
know-
live.
Know where I'm at.
yeah.
Wait, does your wife swim and bike?
She's done triathlon before. She doesn't really love
Remember
to
they
swim.
talked about that, like, competition they did, the relay?
That's what
Yeah.
got me into. Well, we did it right. We did a relay. My wife is a phenomenal runner. She runs like a gazelle up on her toes. She got me into triathlon, and we did a duathlon relay together. But she doesn't love to swim, and she also is kind of scared of riding a bike outside. So she rides a trainer 2-3 times a week.
Did something happen that she's afraid of riding outside?
She was born scared. Yeah.
Okay.
No, nothing particular.
But she doesn't mind running outside.
Not really. No.
Okay.
My wife is like, she's pretty athletic.
Has she done
but
the
she
math
is-
like that guy?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Her biggest fear is also the bike. She
Yeah.
doesn't want to do the bike.
She's got a nice bike. We got her a bike during COVID. Like I was lucky enough to snag a bike, and
Is she selling it?
yeah, she.
The bike is scary at first, but then it gets
love it.
better.
Yeah.
I it gets
Yvonne-
better.
Yvonne
as
rides
you
with
go.
no hands. Like, she's
Yvonne
just like,
is the most agile bike
It's the
rider
dance
I've
background.
ever
Circus
seen.
clown.
I've ever seen.
I said I wish I had like something that would actually like benefit my racing, but I just do these like random things that I'm like, oh yeah, no problem, I could do this, but actually like pedal and move fast.
can you learn
that
to
I
do a
can't
wheelie and then just do like a wheelie
She
across?
probably can do a
I feel
wheelie.
like
Bike transition.
I think
Could
you
you imagine?
do.
Yeah,
that's
that'd
one
be
thing I
pretty
can't do.
hilarious.
I've tried, and I can't ride a wheelie.
It's on a different like.
It's
it
hard.
depends
Yeah,
on
it
the
depends
bike,
on the
right?
bike because it's got to go like slower.
Like it's definitely harder for me to sit up no hands on a tri bike. I don't even know if
Sure.
I can.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Like
could
a
on my tri
roadie,
bike. I can definitely
right?
on a road bike and
Right.
stuff.
So that's what I'm saying.
Can't
Like
do
it's got to
that.
be a different bike.
No, I remember. I don't know where we were, and we were riding in a group, and like it was cold, but it was warming up, and I like sat up, took my vest off, and like,
Oh yeah,
and
you
somebody was behind me and was like, "What the hell are you doing?" I think they were just waiting for me to just wipe out. Like,
yeah. We did a bike ride one time. It was so cold. I think I rode like probably 75% of the way with my hands in my armpits, just like angry,
You are-
just like
yeah.
cold.
Once you learn how to U-turn, you can just ride a bike. That's it.
Yeah.
oh, that's
Is that
shots
directed?
fired.
That is directed
100%.
towards 100%.
Yeah, man.
So rude.
Very.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I
at
did
how much I
recently,
enjoyed
and
it.
then I fell into James.
Glad I could help.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed the bike, being that it was like one of my biggest hesitations when I got on it. And it just brought me back to when I was a kid and
Mhm.
just, on the bike. And that was, I guess, because I wasn't a fast person. When I was on a bike, it made me faster.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that part of it.
When I was a kid, I could ride no hands. I would do wheelies, but I would not try it right now. I'm too
Yeah.
scared.
Like the bike is much nicer now.
Well,
too.
yeah, that's what I'd be
I feel like
afraid
it's
of.
more twitchy though. Even my road bike, it's too
Sure.
twitchy.
Yeah,
to-
I mean it's different. It's the geometry is different. But
We're getting to that point now, aren't
No, I-
we?
Would you like a refill?
tough word. No, I'm good.
Literally geometry.
yeah, only 3-syllable words or less from now on.
So you guys are all signed up for North Carolina, right?
Signed up, hotel
Yes.
rooms. Yeah, we're good to go.
I got my hotel room. That was like half the battle. As long as you know where you're staying,
That's
that's
right.
it. That's the
Best
easy part.
roommate right here.
So tomorrow morning, you need to sign up.
You know,
Yes.
I don't like to do things like with so much pressure. I'll
There's no
Oh,
pressure.
do what I
come
want.
on.
Not the boss of
No
me.
pressure, but there is.
You're not the boss of me tomorrow. She's signing on.
Yeah,
Like, all right, fine. Yeah.
exactly. You don't want the wrath of Marilyn that she forgoes a king size bed.
That will motivate me more than anything.
So,
That's been
yeah.
on my mind for sure. I was supposed to run Philly, the Philly half last year.
Yeah, I got
and-
roped into that race. I was
Yeah.
like, again, I was like, oh, if Yvonne is signing
So
up for that,
Yvonne pulled a Jerry.
it's like Yvonne's like, oh, if Yvonne could do a half marathon, I could do a half marathon.
Yeah. No, so I signed up for that race, and my grandson was born about a week or two before it happened, and it was just not a good time to go, and I didn't do it, and that was the first race that I didn't follow through and participate. I mean, as much as I would complain through something, mainly because again I'm frugal. I don't like to spend money and not do it. So it would just be when people are like, I signed up for a race, but I'm not going to do it. I'm like, what? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Like, that's
Yeah.
insane. So that was the first race that I was like, you know what? It just, the timing didn't work out. And I think it really just like frazzled me because I was like, oh, you just never know what's going to happen later down the road. And it freaked me out that I didn't do it. So I've been just trying to wrapped it into my head. Because if I sign up, then it's like I'm gonna do it. So that's what's really been on my mind.
Well, you better sign up for Wilmington then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's going to be
And
fun.
Maryland.
I think if we get enough people,
Mhm.
then we can talk Jerry into signing up.
He originally was going to because this was talked about last year.
Yeah.
Wasn't
I
it?
think it's his like a.
I don't think it is.
It's not the 20th or 25th
I don't think
anniversary.
Last year it
Yeah.
was his anniversary.
Okay.
So
Or
this year it's not going to be.
might have
He
been.
is hurting because he's been big on like strength and circuit training, and then he ran a 5K, and he said he was just
Mhm.
destroyed at like
Yeah.
a 9-minute pace or something. I don't know. Something.
Yeah.
But he's the kind of person that like he'll just be like, nah, I'm gonna go do it.
There's plenty
You
of
know.
time.
Yeah.
He has to go. He needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening, Jerry,
Like
we're
and
calling
subscribe.
you out right
Yeah,
now.
like
we are calling you out.
Please
I think
share
this
with
is
your
a
friends.
call to action, right?
The
Like this
man-
has to.
The guy that roped a lot of us into this sport.
Yeah. A lot of us are sitting around here because of Dr. Jerry Yu.
Can
Yeah.
we start like a hashtag or something? Like
Mhm.
Jerry UNC or something?
How does that work on
Jerry,
a podcast?
Jerry, you
Just say
better
hashtag.
sign up.
Just say
Just
hashtag.
say hashtag.
I think if you just
How
say
long
it.
has this thing been going?
We're an
Hashtag
hour and
Jerry
24
Yu.
minutes.
Oh, it's pretty
this
short.
is short.
Yes.
Oh.
I need something for a long run.
Yeah,
So
They're
these
like,
are
what
perfect.
else? What else? What else?
Any more questions there?
I gotta tell you, like every time I have a long workout,
You love these things.
I mean, like I said,
You
it
need to
sounds,
tell us this at the beginning so the people listening know that they're in for a good, long one.
well,
now,
we don't.
they,
we don't
now
know.
they don't know
We
until
don't
He
know.
just likes
we
to
don't
hear
know
himself
how
talk.
long
We
it's
don't
going to go.
That's the thing.
it's quite
promise.
metaphorical too. Like the racing world. You just like don't
Mhm.
know. Like it goes. You don't know how long it's going
You
to take
never
you to
know
get
what's
through.
going to happen.
You know it's going to end, but you just don't know when.
Just stay.
it ends when Greg hits the record button.
Stay in
DNF.
zone 2 for your
Yeah,
voice.
Zone
Yep.
2. Zone 2 podcast. Ooh, is that our new name?
That's a-
Said
That's a thing.
Oh,
Zone 2
that's-
podcast.
I'm
So
sure
where are you
that's a
guys
thing.
No,
at? Like
that's a thing.
what
It's
other
taken.
actual guests are you guys like think? I mean,
We can
no,
imagine.
you
You,
can
this is it. We hit peak.
Yvonne, you are an actual guest. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
We
You
cannot
are
say.
an actual guest.
We don't like to say.
Oh, can I get the back like the
I-
secret
I don't know if we could say.
lineup?
I don't know if we
I don't
know.
I don't know if we have a lineup.
Yeah.
I might
true.
have some
And
pull.
but if
I
we
know some
did-
people here.
You know
But if
some
we
people?
did, we wouldn't say.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
At least
Not
not on
hard to
air.
get.
No.
Yeah, we'll have to go off record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What are your plans for the podcast?
She is interviewing us.
She is
Yeah,
interviewing
that's it.
us.
It's
Here it
flipped
goes.
now.
It's
It's
deep.
flipped.
Yeah.
You don't ask questions here.
Mhm.
Ooh.
What-
James just started sweating.
He's been sweating the whole damn
The whole
time.
time.
He's been dripping.
It is so hot in here.
We are gonna 100%. We're gonna have to do a podcast. We're all getting sweat tested. Is everybody? Are you getting sweat
Yeah,
tested?
I am.
Are you? Oh, good.
I started doing my. I sweat just sitting here, but
Mhm.
when I
Oh,
work
'cause-
out, I guess I just don't seem to sweat as much because I was quite disappointed in my volume of sweating. Like I don't know
Well, it
why
depends.
it's become
'Cause
like
it-
this.
It was the temperature. What your
I was in my
dress.
house. I did my
Oh, you were
FTP
inside.
today.
Oh, and you're
on
on
the
That's
bike.
That's a short workout.
But she said, the time that
The
she had
intensity.
suggested,
It
the
could be short.
intensity.
Yeah. She said-
I was sweating.
She said short was like 75 minutes.
No.
No,
She
no,
did
she
not.
said
That's
That's what I initially heard, and I was like, "What the hell?" You think you're like good in your
75.
training, and she's like, just
75 minutes.
casual
I think
75-minute workout.
Maybe it means you need to redo your FTP and go harder.
I think it means you need to mind your own business.
Shots fired.
No, I was huffing and I was sweating, but the amount that came out, it was not a lot. I don't know why it matters. I don't know why it's like a competition.
We
Yeah,
made it
doesn't.
into a competition.
But I was like, yeah,
But
I'm gonna,
I think
like,
the
lose all
competition
this
is you
weight.
want to lose the least amount of weight. That would be the best thing for you, right?
Because if it's a
Yeah.
competition,
Yeah.
I've sweat 2.5 pounds so far.
Just right
My
now?
back.
just like
Yeah,
sitting
right now.
there.
Was that
This podcast.
Was that with this morning?
Not this morning. This morning, I didn't even check it because I was the same weight after. Was it
Did
not
you
this
do
morning?
the swim? No.
The swim I
You
did. I
lost
didn't weigh
2.5
myself.
pounds swimming?
No.
No. I never weigh myself for the swim one.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I don't.
She
maybe
said
I'm
that
sweating.
typically that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Seems
the
weird.
5K time trial, I was the same weight as I was after. So whatever my water weight that I drank was
Yeah,
what I lost.
same.
Okay.
But for some of our trainer rides, I think 2.5 was the most I've done, and that's in my basement. That's like 60 something degrees.
Yeah.
What's the humidity?
I think it was like
You're hung up on that.
I am.
I think it was only about like 64%.
How important is the humidity?
It is important
It
because you'll
is.
sweat more if it's higher
Right?
humidity.
I-
So like, how
But
do I
in your
know what it
hou-
is in
in-
my basement?
In your house, it's not significant enough to make
Yeah.
a difference.
I
But
think
are you
Right.
trying to sweat more? It's more of like what's in your
Well,
sweat, right?
trying
it's
to
not.
do anything.
It's not a
both.
goal.
No.
Both
It's
of
not a
those
goal
things.
because
Right.
it's the test is what you need to replenish
Yeah.
so that you don't.
You need to know your rate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's not any goal. It's just whatever you are.
And whatever we figure out now, once summer hits, like you need to figure out your rate again.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, like James is hoping 10 pounds.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that you'll be that different. Like if you get good indoor numbers, I think that's
Right.
probably going to be
Indoor.
pretty close to what your outdoor numbers.
no, I mean
Dude, you sent us a picture of what your trainer mat looks like after
Yeah.
a ride.
Yeah.
that's in the summer. Like
gross.
in the winter, I don't really.
No.
Actually, no. I started putting
Isn't
huge
your house
towels
the
on my.
same temperature?
That's true. I don't know. I just know on runs, like my socks will be sweaty because it's just running down,
Wow.
So,
That's
like,
a level of
shirt
gross we didn't
to
need
shorts.
to hear.
down to my socks. Like it's just running down
That's-
my body.
I remember, where was it? Was it Wyckoff Try? He walked over. I was like, "Did you jump
No,
in
that
the
was
pool?"
that was PV.
That was PV. Yeah,
Yeah.
PV.
I
Oh
remember
my
seeing
God.
him.
Oh,
I
yeah, when
was
he was
like, what
running.
the hell?
You didn't even do the whole race. You just did the run.
I ran for my
Yeah.
life again. Like Jackie was behind. I did not know. Like, is she gonna catch up?
I
That was the
took
most
care of
stressful.
you.
He was like,
part.
"Roof."
We were. Oh my god! I took care of
Yeah,
you.
I was dying around that corner.
I think I was like at that last corner, and I just see like James like.
That was him. That was him at the time trial this week. I was leaving, and you were running by, and I was like, "Oh, he's going for it."
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah,
did.
he was
He
in
was
the
huffing
zone.
and
I don't know about
puffing, yeah.
what zone, but it was insane.
It was
No,
the
don't
high
get-
zone. He was in like zone 7.
the unhappy
No.
zone.
I
Yes.
went. I look back. I was only zone 3.
Really?
Ugh,
Yes.
You're
No.
gonna fix your heart rate
You gotta
monitor.
fix your heart rate
Cannot
monitor.
be. You ran past me. There is no way.
I gotta tell you, I think it's something with his heart rate because oftentimes, even on like trail runs, I'll look. We did it this past weekend.
Yeah.
His zones are
You got to
different.
check your monitor.
Yeah, I think
There
I was
is
at like
no way you were in
170.
zone
He was at like
3.
113.
Right,
I was like,
exactly.
I would
If
have
that's
like
yours,
that
if
I
that
at
was your
113.
zone 3,
That's
go to
his zone 3.
cardiologist.
Well, I think it's like relative.
Everyone's
Like,
different.
Yeah,
like my
your heart rate might be lower,
Yeah.
but
there's
what I
still
feel
sometimes I see your files and I question your heart rate monitor.
like even though my
Really?
heart rate might be like at 140, that to me that's like tough. That's my zone 6. Like
Right, but your watch.
I
does
just
your
picture
watch know
Greg
that?
looking at
Yeah.
James's numbers and being like lies.
Who would
As he
ask
just
me? Who
sits
texts
there
me? He's like, "What is
lies.
like? Is this a heart rate? Is it chest strap? Is it your wrist? Like, what is this?" I was like,
What's your resting heart rate?
It's like on his dog.
You could look at it now.
Look at
at
it.
my
Just
lowest,
look at it
my resting is like 42. So I'm usually like 40s. Finally, I was after the marathon. I haven't been able to get out of the 50s, and then
Yeah, because
this
you're
week-
recovering.
this week I finally
okay?
hit 47. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm finally recovered.
I am.
But that's like that's where I am.
That's where I am.
But
too.
our numbers are not like our active numbers are nowhere near each other.
Same for
Like
me.
my threshold number is like 167, 168 is like between zone 4 or 5. Like that's if I'm
Yes.
doing a threshold test, that's about where I'm expecting to see it.
So when I've like raced John up hills on the bike,
Yeah.
I've hit 165, and that's like I'm about to black out.
But what I'm saying, like that's sometimes I see that and I don't trust your heart rate.
But maybe
like
it's
whatever
your,
you're using.
Yeah, your monitor. It's not.
Mm.
I don't know.
Not
I
the
think it's him.
number.
I think
I'm using-
everybody's
I'm
heart
using
rate
It's
is
very
different.
possible. There are
I
people
think-
out there who have really low.
I just can't take a heart.
Because mine's not in the 40s.
No, it's not that you can't. It's just that's genetically where
I'm not fit.
Yeah.
I just can't handle like my body shuts down. Like,
I think about that though, because like I run so high and I maintain that high. That I'm like, it's probably not healthy. But then when I think that, I'm like, I'm probably like, working so much harder than someone else is doing. But it's just
No,
that's just how
it's-
my
No,
body
it's
is.
just-
relative.
Yeah,
It's-
it's all relative.
so I'm
the way
impressed.
you're-
Like you and Rich are like at like 190,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Your
then
heart?
you're able
Yeah.
to like talk.
Remember, I was like at
Mhm.
like 203 at the race we did.
Yeah.
In the
winter?
Oh, yeah.
Rich and I were like separated at birth.
And you guys like are able to
Mhm.
talk while you're at like 190. If I was
Yeah.
at 190,
Not 190.
I will-
170, 180. I could still talk.
I can't. I don't think I've ever
no,
even gotten there.
I can't even. I wouldn't.
I get into the 160s and my arms go
Right.
numb.
So that's what I'm saying. He gets there and he's also like dying at that
Yeah.
point, right?
But then
I'm,
they go-
I'm like, I just like walk a little briskly and I'm at like 140,
Yeah.
160.
I had a warm up. I actually had to, when I first got my Garmin, it kept on like zapping me because I was going outside of my heart rate. John had put the
Mhm.
warm up at like up to 100. I was like walking and it was like 120. So it kept on going. I literally had to walk backwards slowly.
To reverse it.
Just to like go slow because I was like, I don't even know what to do anymore because anytime I like even made the action of walking, my heart rate would just like jump to like 120 and it'd be like, zzz, and I was like, oh my God, I'm getting like electrocuted.
I'm with you. So, yeah, totally.
Crazy.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think his heart rate monitor is wrong. I just think that he is.
I just want to test
whatever
it with a
that
couple of
is.
different ones to see if we're getting
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
like,
numbers.
I'll
That's
wear
all.
two. I have the
Wear
Garmin
somebody
now
else's.
And
I'll
the
put on the
MyZone.
MyZone.
Yeah.
But they're the same numbers.
The same.
Like,
They are.
I mean, the
Okay.
Garmin's is saying the same thing.
Can you wear
Okay.
mine just so I could feel what it's like to run at 113?
But how would you
I'll
feel
bring
it
it
if
back
he
very
wears
sweaty,
it?
though.
You
It's going
know.
to come back very sweaty.
I just like to see the number there. Like, yeah, I killed
But
it.
it would be fun if like he could feel you're suffering with his
Wouldn't that be
180.
amazing? Like
Yeah.
you were talking about like superpowers before. Like I would love to feel what it feels like when you run at a 113
It's the
heart
same-
rate.
But it
Everybody
feels-
suffers the same.
Yeah.
No.
It feels the
Yes.
same.
No,
Just
when
because
you-
you're going faster, it's still
Well,
is
no, because they're
hard.
not. Because like, you know, if someone's taking like an easy run at an 8-minute pace and that's their easy run
Well,
at like
what's it?
113, I'm like, yeah, that I would run all the time if I felt like
Yeah,
that. Like
right. Yeah, I was
you
going
know.
to say, who's running it?
I think it was
8-minute
Reggie.
pace.
Reggie
Yeah.
was like running and he was like so low and I was like, come on, man.
Hmm.
Like killing me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's all relative to the person.
Sure.
Absolutely. My heart rate just crazy high.
Yeah, I think as long as you set your zones accordingly,
Yeah.
you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out.
To be continued.
Mhm.
That was a good spot.
Mhm.
All right, so
You're welcome.
Yvonne, yeah, I don't even
Saved
get
it.
to, I don't even get to say thank you, but thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate having you.
Thanks
you were
for having
wonderful.
me. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for representing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, everybody. I'm done with my
Clink.
drink. But
Yeah.
Clink.
No more.
clink.
Thanks for the drink.
Well, if you liked what you heard, thanks everybody for listening. We really would appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button. About 75% of our listeners aren't subscribed. So you guys are out there listening, but we'd really appreciate you subscribing so that we know that you really do appreciate it and come back week after week. So also leave a comment, something you'd like to see in the show or whatever. Any ideas out there, we'd love to hear them. So thanks everybody. Have a great week. And till next time, this is the Quad Pod signing off. Thank you again for listening to the Team Next Level Coaches Roundtable. We love bringing you content that we think will help you with your athletic journey, whatever that may be. If you enjoy this podcast, please leave a review, drop us a 5-star rating in whatever podcast app you like to use, or leave us a comment about things you'd like to hear in the future. If you'd like to learn more about Team Next Level and all we offer, please go check out our website, goteamnltry.com. That's goteamnltry.com. There, you can find out about all the things we offer, such as our training squad for people in the northern New Jersey area, one-on-one coaching options for both local and remote athletes, as well as more useful content for those of you just looking to learn a little bit more about us. Remember, that's goteamnltry.com. Thank you again for giving us a listen, and for myself and all the coaches, we can't thank you enough for listening to our podcast and spending some time with us.